please welcome back to the stage 3-star Diamond Director, Jordan Kemper.
All right. Who wants to make some money? I get it. We got helpers in the room. You guys are here to teach the products. I got no problem with that. But are there some people that want to make some money? Let me tell you, when I first got into this business, I did not join USANA because I was planning to be some sort of a millionaire in the network marketing industry. That was not my vision. Anybody here as a child want to be a network marketer when they grew up? That wasn't the vision that I had. And truly what attracted me to this business first was Dr. Hurschek. Write this down. 85% of people join the business because of who their sponsor is. I was attracted to Dr. Hurschek as a human being. I liked the way he treated his wife and his children. I liked the way he was involved in our community, in our church, the way he treated my sister, who was his babysitter. I'm telling you, I was attracted to Dr. Hurschek as a person, and that grew into an understanding of this thing called USANA. And because of Dr. Hurschek, he aligned himself with USANA because of who he is as a person. And I'll tell you what then transpired for me is I started to see the value of these products. And when you have a good product, the more people you can bring that product to, the bigger your business. So I want you to think of each dollar as you earn it. I want you to see a dollar bill as nothing more than a certificate of helping another person. That's the way you need to see a dollar bill. So how many certificates have you earned? Some people in here have earned a lot more than others. Some have earned literally millions of certificates. I want you to think of it in that way. So I'm going to talk to you guys about making money. Let me tell you, they put my track record up here. 9 years with USANA, 6-time Growth 25. The only reason I wanted you guys to see these numbers is because I want you to believe in my heart that I've seen this and I've seen it over not just 1 year, but consecutive years. I really want you guys to understand how to maximize USANA's current compensation plan to really build a solid and sustainable business. Do I have permission to be honest with you guys about the numbers? I'll tell you, some of it's a little embarrassing, some of it's very vulnerable, but I just tell you, I want to be as open as I possibly can. I want to be transparent with you guys about what my business has looked like. You guys ready for that? So I'm going to give you guys the numbers. Here's the numbers. I started the business in 2007. It was July 25th, 2007. Dr. Hurschek remembers that Starbucks date. I was not the best associate for the first few months, but over the remaining 6 months of the year, I earned a total of $960 in commissions. My 1099 for USANA was $960. How's that? Does that sound exciting? Was my business profitable? No, it wasn't. If you add up the amount I spent on products, the amount I spent on my laptop, I even bought a little projector so I could host meetings, I was thousands of dollars in the hole. Fast forward to the next year, I earned about $1,000 a month, give or take. And that's a little skewed because 1 week I made $1,650 because USANA ran a promotion called the Fast Start Bonus, and I made it rain that week. So really, if you add it up, I mean, $12,000 for my second year, is that big money? No, but again, what was my vision? My vision was to help people, and Dr. Hurschek said, don't even start the business if you won't give me 5 years commitment. So I said, all right, I'm committed. I'm only 1.5 years in. The next year, I jumped up to $71,000. You do the math, that's a $60,000 increase. How does that sound? Who decided to get a $60,000 increase? I did. I want a $60,000 increase, and I didn't have to ask anybody for permission to go and get it. That's the beauty of this business. You start seeing the numbers all the way through 2015, and here's what it looks like. These are the numbers. I'm just being transparent with you. This is exactly how much money I've made and what I've made it. This is just specific to USANA investment, right? So you do the math, 2011, 151, 2012, 281, 2013, 407,000, jumped in 2014 to 564,000, 2015, $595,000. And that year, I ended up making the Fortune 25, which was a dream of mine since the beginning of USANA, and I got to go on an amazing trip. Anybody else start their business and say one day they want to get into the Fortune 25? That was a dream of mine. And people told me, they said, Jordan, you're not going to make it. They said, Jordan, it's the way the binary compensation plan works. The people that got in early are the ones that are going to stay in the Fortune 25. So tough luck for you. That's what I was told. You got in too late, Jordan. The company started back in 92. You started in 2007. The compensation plan has shifted. I said, you know what? That's just not going to be my story. I decided I wanted to move towards that, and I attracted amazing leaders that gave me the ability to move my business in that direction. I want you to believe that that's possible for you. You just need to decide it's possible for you, right? Now, I told you guys that this last year was a challenge for me. Did I not tell you that? I moved to a new state. I got married to the most incredible woman, and I'm trying to be the best husband I can possibly be. I took on the project of writing a 250-page book. I took on an outside project. I got licensed to sell life and health insurance, so I've added that project. When I say multiple streams of income, I have done that. But this past year has been the most challenging year I've had in my USANA distributorship. This past year, if you look at my numbers, I dropped down to $480,000 on my 1099. You want to talk about embarrassing? My wife and I just picked out this amazing home. I have saved. I've been very frugal. I've got other investments. We're doing just fine. But when I went to the mortgage lender to get my 3.8% because I'm a private client of Chase, they wanted to know why, when I moved to Florida, when I moved my corporation to a new state, why did my income drop? Embarrassing question. And they wanted to know if I was sustainable in a standpoint of, hey, if we give you this jumbo loan, are you actually going to pay us back? I said, well, you don't need to worry about that. I promise you I will. But the point for me is it was a troubling year, and to have those types of conversations as opposed to, hey, let me just give you the money, I had to go through scrutiny. I told you I'd be transparent with you. These are the numbers. So I want you guys to see that this Next Level U event is as much for you as it is for me. I'm not complaining, and I'm not pointing the finger at anybody other than myself. I know there's some things I need to do to get better, and I promise you that I will. So here's the numbers. PCs on auto order, PCs not on auto order. I have 12,068 PCs not on auto order. I have 3,155 associates not on auto order. That's a kick in the side. I have 1,054 associates on auto order, 1,665 PCs on auto order. You do the math on that, statistically that's 17.3% on auto order, 82.7% off. What does that remind you of? The 80-20 rule. I'm telling you, this has been the statistic for as long as I can remember. The 80-20 rule always applies. I'm trying to figure out how I can change that rule. I'm trying to figure out what can we do innovatively to increase our auto orders. Right? Because that's what this business is about. We've got to figure out ways to do that. So we're going to think through some of that strategy. And then what's fun is I now have 23 business centers. I couldn't even put all of the volume on here, but if you look, I mean, I can put volume in particular ways that pay me actually 5 times. 5 times once you start earning reentries. Some of you haven't even earned 1 reentry. You want to make a goal? Earn your first reentry. I tell you, the income starts to dramatically change once you start getting your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th business centers. Tony and Tammy have more than I do. I think 25 business centers. Jeremy Stansfield has over 80. Rita Hui has over 120. And I don't even know how many Bill and Jenny Wong have. I think it's 170 or something. It's crazy, right? So I just want you to understand the leverage principle. One of the things that I do, and I make a dramatic statement when I present to people in USANA, is I want them to believe that this is attainable. So I use the income chart. The number one thing that I ask people is, could you use an extra $5,357? Why do you think I picked that number on the income chart? It's $100 a week. What else? It's realistic, but look at the chart. Why did I pick it out? 45% of active associates can reach that mark. So if you're a conservative investor and you knew that 45% of people could hit that mark, is that something that you'd say, hey, I could do that? That to me is a number that you've got to really highlight. I tell people, look, about half the people that are active in USANA can reach this mark, and you're talking $100 a week. So I want you guys to consider that. 6 ways to earn income. I'm just going to highlight these quickly for sake of time. CVP, right? Commission volume points. You guys know how that works. Make this your focal point. The majority, the bulk of your business is going to come from CVP. Lifetime matching bonus. I was actually doing the reports. I have over 33 platinum pace setters that I have personally sponsored since they introduced the matching bonus, and I've been getting a lifetime match 15% on over 33 different distributors. You ask yourself, is that important? Yes, and I'm sorry, Dr. Hirschcheck, that matching bonus didn't exist when you sponsored me. Fascinating to figure out what that number would be. Contests and incentives. I didn't realize how much fun it would be to travel the world on USANA's dime. I actually looked it up. It's included in my 1099, which wasn't reflected in the chart that I showed you. But I've actually earned over $100,000 in all expense paid trips from USANA. Most of those trips, my significant other was my brother. And I love him dearly, but I have upgraded since then. Drastically. Okay? So these trips are fun, right? Then I want you to think about leadership bonus. And I went through this in depth with those that participated in the Diamond University. I just want to highlight this just for a moment here. You look at the gold directors, the ruby director, the emerald director, the diamond director. What happens is, as you start maxing out business centers, you start to get shares in the company. Essentially, what's happening is they have a hypothetical share. So they take 3% of all the revenue that comes into the company, and they divide it amongst the number of shares that they have to pay out to golds and above. In order to earn the shares, you need to be gold or above, and depending upon the number of business centers that you max out, you get a share. So hypothetically, a gold director maxes out 1 business center, they get a $175 bonus. Okay, so you add 1,000 and 175, your check for the week is 1,175. Now, you might have additional business centers earning money, you might get auto order bonus, there are other features, but I want you to understand how that works. The reason that there are rubies and emeralds and diamonds whose incomes don't reflect their title is because they're not solid in their business, meaning they don't max out the number of business centers that they actually have in title. If you're a ruby director and you're not consistently maxing out 2 business centers, you're not a solid ruby director. If you're not maxing out consistently 3 business centers, you're not a solid emerald director. Now, the compensation plan has changed over the last 2 years, right? Such that you don't have to max out 3 centers to be emerald. You just need 3,000 CVP. Well, I got news for you. 3,000 CVP does not ensure you getting the leadership bonus at emerald level. The only way you get emerald bonus is by maxing out 3 business centers. So if you're trying to decide what to do to increase your compensation, do this first. Make sure you're maxing out your top business center every week. That's got to be your focus. Do it once a month, then do it twice a month, then do it 3 times a month, and get to a place to where you're maxing it out every month. That needs to be your focus. And then ruby, and then emerald, and then diamond. You guys follow me on the leadership bonus? It's really about building solid. Elite bonus. My biggest elite bonus check was $51,730. I wasn't expecting that. It just showed up in my bank account on a Friday morning. I used the Mint.com app and I go, wow, that's nice. Wasn't expecting that. Thank you, USANA. Right? Every quarter, they take now 60 elite bonus earners. They split you into quantiles and they put you into a quantile, and then you compete against the other members of your quantile for growth shares. So you've got individuals that are competing for large sums of money, roughly 1% of the company's global revenue, split amongst these 60 earners. How many of you would like to have a piece of that pie? Okay, you can, okay? So I want you to understand what you're working towards. Again, people said, Jordan, you'll never get to the elite bonus. I said that won't be my story. Now again, I want you to focus, though, on weekly commissions. Hear me now. If you focus on raising your CVP, all of those other bonuses will come. Don't focus on the bonuses, focus on the CVP. If you focus on CVP, you build solid. If you build solid, the bonuses will follow. You with me? And when I mean CVP, I'm talking about that number right there. Your estimated CVP every week is what you should be looking at. And I tracked it. And I tracked it for 9 years. I filled out a spreadsheet, and I tracked my CVP every week. I can actually show you my CVP since July of 2007. Track your CVP. Make sure that you're doing that. With the time that we have remaining, I want to do something really quickly on the Elmo Cam. It's called Pick a Number. I'm going to do this real quickly with you, and I want you guys to be able to do this. But how many times do you have an associate that joins your business and says, hey, if I made this amount of money, I could quit my job. Or if I made this amount of money, my wife could come home. Or if I made this amount of money, it would make a real impact. If I made this amount of money, I could go on this trip. Has anybody told you some story similar to that? All right, let's pick a number real quick. I want you guys to pick a number for me. What's a number, for some of you that are in your first year with USANA, first year, what's a realistic number of something you'd like to hit in your first year? Can I hear a couple of numbers? 100,000. Highly unlikely. Just being real with you. 10,000. What else? 40 grand. You can pick the number for yourself, but the number should have meaning. I don't know where Jay is right now, but when Jay joined my business, he told me his number was 73,000. I thought, wow, that's a very specific number. He said, if I make 73,000, Katie comes home with my kids. Guess what Jay made in his first year with USANA? More than 73,000. I'm just telling you, it's focus, it's vision. So let's just use the number 40,000, okay? So we're going to do 40,000. I want you guys to write this down in your paper. The first thing that you're going to do, how often do we get paid in USANA? That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to divide it by 52. 40,000 divided by 52. Check my numbers on this, please. 40,000 divided by 52. What's it say? 769. So we'll just say 770. $770 a week is what we're shooting for. And I say dollars, I mean CVP, right? For those of you in Canada, this is what I'm talking about, CVP, right? So all we're going to do is we're going to look at our 3 business centers, and we're going to figure out how can we earn $770 per week in USANA so we can hit that marker of 40,000. We're going to work backwards. You know that if you earn 50% on your top business center and you earn 25% on your 2 lower business centers, you are perfectly balanced in your business centers. Does everybody understand that? 50% from the top, 25% on the lower centers. So what you do is you're just going to take $770, right? Okay, that's what we're trying to earn. I want you to divide that number by 2. I get 385. We're trying to earn 385 on our top business center, which means that if you divide that by 2, we're looking for roughly $192 on our lower business centers. Add those together. 192 plus 192 plus 385 equals what? 770. I've got some people that are good at creative languages and arts that eyes are rolling back because math's not your strength. Left brain, right brain. Math people, where are you at? Okay, so everybody follow me on this so far. So let's just figure out 385. Pretty simple. 385 divided by 0.20 equals 1,925. If you bring in 1,925 CVP on both, or excuse me, SVP on both sides, your paycheck on your top business center will be 385. Divide that in half, 962. If you bring 962 points on each of your lower legs, 962 on each of your lower legs, times 0.2 equals, should be 192.5. So here's the math on this, guys. We're trying to get to 962 SVP on each of your 4 project legs. That's the goal. So in our compensation plan, what's the average auto order? 100 points. So how many auto orders do you need on your left leg? 10, 10, 10, 10. Now, if you have 10 auto orders of 100 points each, will you earn $770 that week? You will. So you have the option of doing 10 per week. You multiply that over the course of 4-week cycles, you need an average of 40 auto orders on each leg for the month. If you have 40 auto orders on each leg over the course of the month, because it balances itself out, you will earn $770 a week or $40,000 a year. Now, some people have 200-point auto orders, don't they? So what do? Divide it in half. So your option is 40 auto orders of 100 points or 20 auto orders of 200 points. And what I have found over time is that it's somewhere in the middle. I think it's usually about 30, and it's going to be a combination of 100 and 200-point auto orders. But if you successfully brought in 30 auto orders of an average of 150 points, you would reach your mark. Does everybody understand this math? So then what you need to do is figure out a strategy to come up with 40 auto orders on each leg. And if you try to do that by yourself, it won't be very fun. But if you could develop a few leaders or even one leader on a particular leg, and you help them develop 4 leaders, and they each get 4 customers, before you know it, you start to develop the leverage. When Jay joined my organization, he added over 600 associates. I was just looking for 40. Do you see what I'm saying? It's that leveraging effect. So I call this show me the money. I want you guys to be able to practice this amongst your leaders, with your upline, with your sponsor. The Diamond University participants have now seen this twice. I don't expect you to be an expert at this the first time you see it, but I do want you to understand how this works and practice it and practice it and practice it so you can work these numbers with your leaders. You guys with me on that? Yeah. All right, and lastly, I just want to say this. Carmen Marshall told me when I first started in USANA, she said, Jordan, you want to have a solid business? I said, yep. She said, you need to develop 3 gold directors on each leg. 3 gold directors on each leg. Just give me 1 gold director on each leg. And I kid you not, I tried to develop 3 or more gold directors on each leg. And on the legs that I have more than 3 gold directors, I have never gone shy of 5,000 CV or SVP in auto orders. But the legs where I don't have 3 gold directors or more, I have had to rebuild. I lost the Ruby director stopped building. I had a gold director stop building. I had another gold director stop building. My point being, develop 3 gold directors or more on a leg to make sure that it's sustainable. Okay? If you do that, I promise you guys will see the money. So I hope that this time has been helpful. Has this training been helpful for you guys? All right? I love you guys. Continue to enjoy the event. Thank you.